The U.S. Navy, a story of wooden ships, steam engine, torpedoes, nukes, aircraft carriers, and lasers. Yes, lasers. Let's do the entire history of the United States Navy in about 7 minutes, I guess. It's 1775. America doesn't exist yet, but Congress says, let's make some ships, because Britain controls the seas, and that's a problem. So they create the Continental Navy with a handful of ships to annoy the British. John Paul Jones, a legendary captain, sails into the British waters, captures a warship, and says something like, "Come at me, bro." But after the war, the Navy disappears. No money, no ships, no sailors, just vibes. Then pirates start messing with U.S. merchants in the Mediterranean. Congress says, okay, fine, and passes the Naval Act of 1794. The U.S. builds 6 frigates, including the USS Constitution, still floating today. In the War of 1812, the United States Navy does surprisingly well. USS Constitution defeats multiple British ships, earns the nickname Old Ironsides, and proves that the Navy is more than just decorative. Too bad the rest of the war was not so great. Time jump, the United States Navy adopts steam power. During the Civil War, we get a famous duel between the Monitor and the Merrimack. Iron meets iron, cannonballs bounce off, everyone's confused and excited. Ooh, what's this? Oh no, the Union Navy blockades the South and helps win the war. Meanwhile, the U.S. keeps expanding globally. What's this? It's 1898. USS Maine goes boom in Havana, the U.S. blames Spain, and goes to war. The Navy crushes the Spanish fleet in both the Pacific and the Caribbean. Then Teddy Roosevelt sends the Great White Fleet around the world like, hey everyone, look at our boats. The U.S. Navy is officially a big deal. World War I, the Navy doesn't do a ton of fighting, but protects convoys and hunts U-boats, and starts seriously thinking about submarines and aviation. Wait a second, wait, what? Did they just say World War I? Well, too bad. There's not going to be a second. At least we hope. We were wrong. Still begins World War II. Japan attacks Pearl Harbor. The battleship era ends. Enter the aircraft carrier. The U.S. Navy wins key battles at Midway, Iwo Jima, and Okinawa. Submarines sink Japan's merchant fleet. The U.S. Navy becomes the biggest and most powerful in the world. And now it's Cold War time. The Navy builds nuclear submarines that can stay underwater for months and launch nukes. During the Cuban Missile Crisis, the Navy sets up a quarantine. In Vietnam, it launches airstrikes and river patrols. Everywhere else, it watches the Soviets. Newsflash, it's 1991. It's time for the Gulf War. Carriers launch precision strikes. Navy SEALs become famous. After 9/11, the Navy patrols the Middle East, fights pirates, delivers some humanitarian aid, and launches missiles at bad guys. Sometimes all in the same week. Today, the U.S. Navy is experimenting with drones, lasers, and railguns. The Ford-class supercarrier is a floating airbase. Now, the U.S. Navy operates 11 carrier strike groups across the world. It's a global force for power projection, deterrence, and for memes. So, from wooden ships and cannonballs to nuclear submarines and stealth destroyers, the U.S. Navy has sailed through 250 years of history and is not slowing down. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is not my usual thing. I usually just do like short form history videos and don't make it funny. I will make a not so funny version, but this was enjoyable to make, and I hope you guys liked it. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.